So, like it or not, we now live in the age of entrepreneurial YouTubers. Drinks, snacks, toys, fitness apps, you name it, and they've probably made it. Well, a few days ago, a well-known YouTuber named Oompaville announced the following.
I am incredibly proud to announce Sour Boys Interactive. Not only am I announcing my game development studio, I'm also announcing our first game, Black Pine. Please, go wishlist this game on Steam, and also, while you're at it, play the demo.
Now, normally I don't care about YouTubers announcing their new side project, but this one's different for two reasons. First of all, unlike a lot of YouTubers, Oompaville seems like a decent guy who only seems to involve himself in projects he's truly passionate about, like his sweet company Sour Boys, as opposed to other creators whose projects seem far more motivated by profit than passion.
No! God, please, no!
And secondly, it's a video game, which is the main reason I created this channel. So, in today's video, I'm going to play through and break down the demo, let you know what I did and didn't like about the game, as well as things I'd like to see implemented before its release. So with that being said, let's begin. Black Pine is an online co-op horror survival game, similar to titles like Phasmophobia,
Lethal Company,
and The Backrooms. The demo starts you in a reinforced RV where you're provided with multiple tools and tasked with repairing a local water pump system. The mission is time sensitive and you're given 15 minutes to complete it. After leaving the RV, you make your way down a dirt road until you locate the water pump station ahead of you. After making your way into the building, you're tasked with restoring power, which opens a hatch to the basement. You need to repair 2 wired boxes, which allows you to power on the water pumps and attach your valuable tool, the UDT, to the main system. This provides you with pressure requirements for the valves upstairs. Once you've adjusted these, you've completed your task. But before you can return to the RV and leave, another issue arises, which requires you to remove a section of pipe due to a blockage. Once you've done that, you discover the item blocking the pipe was a giant red monster turd, which you're now tasked with returning to the RV. Once you do that, you lock down the armored bang bus and Bob's your uncle. You've completed the demo. Now I know, from that brief overview, I've made this game seem very simple and straightforward. But unfortunately, due to quite a few bugs, as well as a lack in some key game features, it's actually a lot harder than it needs to be. And there are, in my opinion, quite a few things this game requires before it's ready for a full release. The first issue I found with the game is that it doesn't at present have controller support. Now for someone like me, this makes little to no difference as I mainly stick to keyboard and mouse. But my partner, who isn't a hardcore gamer, prefers controller, and not being able to use this meant her experience exploring Black Pine was considerably less enjoyable right from the beginning. So personally, I think this is definitely something that needs to be added into the game by the time it's fully released. The second issue we encountered was glitchy hitboxes. On one of my playthroughs, I decided to explore the map a little bit more and came across a cabin. I pressed E to enter the cabin, but upon trying to exit, I had no button prompt, and because of this, I had to search for the perfect angle to open the door, which ended up costing me a minute off my time and unfortunately led to me running out of time before finishing the mission. Now, if this was just a one-off thing, I wouldn't even bother mentioning it, but unfortunately this happened quite a bit throughout my playthroughs. So yeah, that shit really needs to be calibrated a lot better. And that brings me on to my next issue, pointless items. So, throughout your time in Black Pine, you can find items like food, drinks, medicine, and lost weapons from Warhammer 40k. But other than earning you more money, which completing missions already provides, these items are essentially useless and seem to serve no other purpose. Personally, I'd like to see them adapt the items to provide benefits to the player in the game. For example, having drinks give you a stamina bonus, meaning you can run for longer, food to be used for HP for minor injuries you sustain during the mission, and maybe medicine could provide buffs like improved night vision or item detection. By doing something like that, you'd give players an option of either using found items to help them with their mission objectives, or selling them to generate more money for buyable items in the RV. By doing something like this, it would make players far more engaged with the items they find in the game. Now, before I get into the things I really enjoyed about this game, I need to mention one last issue. And personally, this is my biggest problem with the game, the lack of information. Now, just to clarify, I'm not a fan of games hand-holding, but the only information we're provided with in Black Pine is located on the RV computer, and unfortunately, other than a mission briefing, the RV doesn't contain any useful information to help you during your time in the demo. Well, at least nothing I could find. The game lacks any information on key mapping.
While editing this video, the Black Pine developers have updated the game and have now included a key mapping section, so this issue is no longer valid. Great to see such quick updates from the devs. Keep up the solid work.
Another area information is seriously lacking in is the game's geography department. The mission briefing tells you the water station is located in Sector 4B, but doesn't give you any idea of how to know where location 4B is, as the map on the RV is completely blank.
Bruh.
Or at least it was for me. Next up is the lack of an objectives list, to provide the player with a reminder of the task they're currently undertaking. As well as no objectives list, there's also no hint options in case you're stuck and can't find your way through a particular section of the game, and I personally feel by not having either of these these features, a lot of players could end up getting frustrated and giving up on the game far too quickly. But despite everything I've covered, I do think there are some easy fixes to all of the problems I've mentioned. First of all, include a key bindings option so players can customize the keys to their own specs. Secondly, add in an option for players to have an objective list, something similar to what's currently on screen. This can help remind players what tasks they're currently doing during a mission without having to just simply remember. As well as an objective list, having an option to enable hints could also help players if they're stuck on a section of the mission for a long period of time. For example, if a player was in the water pump station but didn't know they needed to restore power, you could have a small pop-up saying something like,
"I need to restore power. There must be a fuse box nearby."
This type of breadcrumb hint could put players back on the right path and keep them engaged with each task they're undertaking. Lastly, I personally think that a map should be added to the UDT in the game. This would allow you to have a specific player who's able to guide and direct the team to the assignment locations, as opposed to the map on the RV, which even if it did work would mean constant backtracking when exploring a new location, which would have a knock-on effect to your overall mission time. And that's it. I'm done with criticism.
Thank you.
Hopefully for any of you still watching, you realise the reason I've brought these up isn't because I want to just shit on the game, but more I want to see it succeed. And by fixing some of the issues I've highlighted, hopefully that helps that happen. Now, on a more positive note, let's move on to what I enjoyed about the game. So, I really enjoyed the team dynamic. Having to communicate through the use of walkie-talkies and fixing problems, all while being on a strict timer, makes the game engaging, fun, as well as tense. I enjoyed the style of the game, which feels like a little bit of a mix between Phasmophobia and Slender the 8 Pages, and joining lobbies in my experience was nice and easy, and having the password option really is appreciated for an introvert like myself. Also, having somewhat of an open, explorable area with a variety of items makes the mission in the demo a lot more replayable, giving you a reason to come back and redo a mission multiple times. The side objectives you have to complete, like restoring power or rewiring fuse boxes, add a good amount of variance to the mission, and attention to detail like having the fuse box kill you if you forget to turn it off before starting your repair punishes you for not thinking through tasks properly, which obviously I didn't do. Right, okay, just need to change the fuse. Oh, well, fuck. So, having spent over 2 hours on Black Pine, what are my thoughts? Well, personally, I think despite the amount of bugs and lack of key features at present, Black Pine has the potential to be a really fun group game. I don't think it's going to offer anything we haven't already seen before, but honestly, it doesn't have to. As long as the game irons out the issues I've already mentioned, adds in more missions with a good amount of variety in them, as well as releasing at a fair price in comparison to other games in the same space, I think it has the potential to do really well. Now, I don't really watch much of Oompaville's content, but as I said before, he seems like a genuinely good guy. And as his motivation appears to be passion and not profit, I genuinely hope that his game succeeds. To help out slightly, I've wishlisted this on Steam, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the full release has to offer. And lastly, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Have you played the demo, and what are your thoughts on it? Let me know. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, and hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one.